Two identical models, two distinct paint jobs. In this video, I'm going to talk you through my process of creating two different styles of paint jobs. Hi, my name is Matt, and welcome to my channel. I'm going to be painting this model in two styles. First, a more traditional miniature painting style. The second is the more Asian or stylized kit, garage, or anime approach to model painting, where the emphasis is on cool, clean, crisp base coats to make the model look as if they were fresh out of the toy factory themselves. But enough of the explanation, let's get to how I did it. First thing I did with both of these models is sanding, the bane of 3D printing, and nothing screams laziness like support marks and grooves. Oh, I'm sure that's not going to come back to haunt me in the future. As always, when we're sanding resin prints, please be sure to wear a respirator, cause plastic in the lungs is not nice. So, after a few hours, many sanding sticks, and what little sanity I have left, both models are ready to go on to the next part, which is washing, because nobody wants a dirty model. Reason why I wash these prints is so actually the primer will stick better to the model themselves. Simple enough, just some warm soapy water and job done. So the first step is priming. Simple enough. I start with a standard black base coat. I apply some grey primer over it and then lightly add some white to create a zenithal highlight, as you can see up here. The one difference this time is, however, that the garage kit style did not get primed this way. I put simply one coat of Mr. Hobby primer over all the parts of the model. Now, unfortunately, I did forget to record that because I'm a special boy. I'm very smart. But rest assured, it is not that complicated and difficult. So the first thing I did is I went back over the areas on the model that needed to be black, such as in between the arms, the cloak, the head, the legs, and the areas where the metallics would need a black coat. If you want to see the full unedited version of this video where I go through the tutorial, you can find that in the link here. For the cloak, I first work up the blacks, going from very dark all the way up to a very light grey. On the inside of the cloak, I keep a red and just very subtly highlight it with a little bit brighter red, because the brighter red at the back will not be as exposed as much. I finish it off by painting the gold trims and adding a little bit of silver as a final highlight. My metallics for this video all follow the same very simple technique. A base coat, a wash, and a final highlight. Blink, and you just might miss it happening. So moving on to the gun, I do the exact same thing with the metallics that I have been doing, as you just saw with the gun belt. I will lay down a silver coat, wet blend in a lighter tone, wash it down, and edge highlight it. Moving on from that, I apply a strong base coat of red. Then I blend in a lighter tone using a more wash consistency. I will edge highlight and add some scratches to replicate weathering, slowly bringing those up to a bright tone. The last part is to highlight the gold and add silver to all the rivets. Moving on from this, next we do the belt, and it has quite a similar process to the gun, only this time we're working with more browns than reds, and less focusing on clean lines and a lot more scratches to give that really worn leather look. And to finish it off, The similar process to what we've done so far with the golds and the silvers. So, the final part, the last hurdle, adding all the weathering onto the model. So, for this, what I did was basically add some washes to give a little bit of area detail where I wanted to get weathering marks on the model. Applying a black line, any black paint will do, some grey, and then a little dot of white to accent it so that the marks stick out. Shout out to my editing skills for having it very blown out on the camera. Good job, professionalism. And the face. So I won't go into too much depth with how I do this, but I do have a tutorial on how I do skin linked up here. This time I just used pretty much scale 75 and worked from a magenta all the way up to the lightest tone. I had a really good time doing this one. This is probably to date my best face done, and simply the reason why this was, I focused on just glazing and washing paints in rather than having the paint too thick and layering. I took 2 hours just to get the face as perfect as I could possibly get it. And then obviously a little bit of freehand, and I had a little bit of fun trying to do a scar, which unfortunately didn't turn out too great, but hey, you gotta try things every now and again. The kit build. So easy, so simple, nobody does it, everyone gets it perfect, and yeah, it's outsourced to companies in China. Which means mine's gonna be perfect, right? Well, let's get into it. So, my idea for painting this kit style was going to be lacquer everything and hand paint all the fine details. Which, well, to be fair, I was off to a good start because the majority of the model is either white or black. I knew I was going to have an easy time doing some of the difficult areas. What I wasn't anticipating is how difficult hand painting lacquers was going to be. But, as you can see with this part, with the airbrush, lacquer paints. Beautiful for base coats. So this was essentially going pretty good. Although the white paint was deceptive to me, because I believed that it was going to go down nicely. And then, this happened. Well, there was only one thing left to do. Masking and taping. Lot of taping. But with the masking done, and the hand brushing of the bits that I could do, we were on to the final step. A little bit of tidy up, and she's completed. So, without further ado, let's look at the two models. So in terms of my style of painting the kit, I'm actually pretty happy with how it turned out. Probably my best painted face to date. Nothing too spectacular or out of there in terms of what I wanted to do, and I think it looks pretty good. So, with the kit finished, my own personal reflection on it. I think I gave it a good attempt, definitely a lot of things to learn. Certainly humbled by it. Had a lot of fun. Lacquers are incredible in terms of a base coat, but very difficult to work with. I don't think I smashed the idea of a kit build on this one, but I think it's fairly clean looking. So that's it. Those are my thoughts on it. What do you think? Was it a smashing success, or did I fail terribly? Leave a comment below. Let's have a discussion, shall we? So you've reached the end of the video. Thank you for watching all the way through. All I can ask is like, share, and subscribe. Help the channel grow. Let's go on a journey together. Links to my Patreon and socials below. And what'll we paint next?